If one wants to rear sheep and goat, why he should maintain the animals under zero grazing system? Zero grazing is nothing but scientific farming system, or else people call it as intensive farming system or stall feeding system. Zero grazing meaning is the animals are not allowed for grazing. So there is no grazing at all. Hence we call it as zero grazing. As the animals are maintained under sheds, so we call it as stall feeding also. The major advantage of zero grazing is one can rear in large numbers on commercial scale. One can maintain more than 1,000 also. And it is the most convenient method for non-traditional entrepreneurs. For traditional shepherds, of course, it is not so convenient. But for the new farmers, non-traditional farmers, it is the most convenient method. And one can get significant net profits also. I will explain in the next slides how to get the significant net profits. And even under a national livestock mission, Government of India also promoting zero grazing only. And in zero grazing, the productivity to potential is 100% possible. Productivity to potential. So here I have given the details of one goat farm maintained under zero grazing system. By 180th day, after birth of the newborn, by 180th day, that will gain not less than 26 kg body weight. The production cost on 1 kg live will be approximately 169 rupees. The percentage of production cost on live sale price is just 45%. So other parameters also to be considered for estimation of production cost. This is calculated on the basis of maintaining Usmanabadi goat, and which gives around 60% gain. So in sheep and goat farming, productivity means number of newborn sold per each goat, number of newborns sold per each goat per cycle is considered as productivity. That means from each goat, if a person is maintaining 100 females, he should be able to sell not less than 120 kits per year out of that farm. This productivity is directly influenced by breeding system and feeding system and preventive health care and management system. Management means housing, culling, biosecurity, etc. And this productivity is directly influenced by illness of the flock. If the flock is not healthy, then also you will lose the productivity, and the flock becomes ill because of negligence in any one of the these parameters. If you neglect breeding, so productivity will be low. If you neglect feeding, productivity will be low. If you neglect preventive health care, productivity will be low. If you neglect management, productivity will be low. And this productivity, which is influenced by illness, is due to infections. Illness is due to infections and due to infestations and due to disorders. Disorders means maybe due to nutrition disorders. In zero grazing system, we can avoid this illness. By avoiding this illness, we can have the better productivity. So if we can have better productivity, the farming will be more profitable. So in zero grazing, to understand the system of avoiding illness, we need to understand the source of illness and predisposing factors also. So here is the comparison between open grazing and zero grazing system. In open grazing system, the animals are taken out for grazing by 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and they are taken back by 5, 6, or sometimes they may return by 7 p.m. also. But still, they don't get balanced feeding. We all know very well that the animals require non-legume and legume type of fodders every day. But in open grazing system, they get only non-legume type of fodder, which is naturally grown, and which is available in the waste fields. They don't get balanced feed and they don't get full ration also. But here in zero grazing system, we can provide balanced feeding. We can offer both legumes and non-legumes, and we can give full ration. So there is no limit in offering the ration. And in case of open grazing, same type of feed is available in all physiological conditions. So even for pregnant animals, even for lactating animals, even for growing animals, so the same type of fodder what is available in the feed, that is to be consumed. But in zero grazing system, you can design feeding system as per the physiological need of the animal. For pregnant animals, you can provide extra ration. From lactating animals, you can provide extra ration. For growing animals, you can provide extra ration. So in open grazing system, there is no access to fresh and potable water, whereas this is in zero grazing, it is available. And there is a possibility of ingestion of worm larvae while grazing. In open grazing, this is the major problem for the shepherds. So there is every possibility of ingestion of worm larvae while grazing. So frequently they suffer with worm infestation. But in zero grazing, there is no chance at all. There is no chance of ingestion of larvae or intermediate host. So this internal worm problem can be totally avoided in zero grazing system. And in open grazing system, they are frequently exposed to infectious environment. See, if 2 to 3 flocks are grazing in the same field, so whatever the sick animal present in the other flocks, so they may transmit the disease through air. So there is every chance of getting the infection, and they are frequently exposed to infectious environment. But whereas in zero grazing, there is no exposure. And in open grazing, uncontrolled breeding is highly possible because always the male remains with the females while grazing. And even at rest stage also in the sheds, the males are always with the females. But in case of zero grazing, it is not like that. We can have controlled breeding. And in open grazing system, totally it is unhygienic and improper housing. And here we can provide hygienic and proper housing. And there is no biosecurity in open grazing system. Here in zero grazing, we can have proper biosecurity. And in search of feed, sometimes the flocks are taken from one place to another place as a part of migration. There is every risk in migration, but in zero grazing, there is no need of migration. And animals while going for grazing, they always suffer with stress and starvation in search of food in open grazing. But here in zero grazing, there is no such chance. There is no stress and no starvation. And here are the sources of illness and the predisposing reasons for illness. All these can be avoided in zero grazing system. So we provide balanced ration. So there are no nutritional disorders, and we provide complete nutrition in zero grazing. So there are no nutrition disorders. And there is no infected soil in zero grazing. So we know very well that from soil one can get tetanus infection, particular Clostridium infection, or E. coli, or even this anthrax also. So here there is no chance. And with infected air means if sick animals are present available in the flocks which are grazing nearby. So this can be prevented. Even there is no contaminated water in zero grazing system, and there is no contaminated grazing area also, because the feed and fodder is produced by the applicant farmer himself, and it is given to the animals in zero grazing system. There are no carrier animals and alien. These are the sources of infection in open grazing system. And here there are predisposing factors. And stress and starvation is a predisposing factor, because in the open grazing system there is no stress and no starvation. And overcrowding is also one predisposing factor for illness. And in zero grazing system, we provide prescribed floor space for each animal, so there is no chance of overcrowding. So poor hygiene may lead to, it may become a predisposing factor for illness. So poor biosecurity, so neglected preventive health care. So all these predisposing factors, they may lead to illness. But in zero grazing system, we can avoid all these sources of illness and all these predisposing factors of illness. So here see all the animals, they get full nutrition, and each animal is provided equal space of feeding also. So they get balanced nutrition and they get complete nutrition, and complete hygiene is possible. And we can mix both legumes and non-legumes, and we can offer balanced food even by installing waters which are available even in Amazon also. We can provide fresh, clean water for each and every animal. Even ICR, Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, also estimated that there is a deficit of 11.24% green fodder and 23% dry fodder and 28.9% concentrates in the country as of November 2022. Hence, to get productivity to potential is possible only through zero grazing only. Thank you all.